Hello, this is Sheryl Willis over at Go Arizona Real Estate, and we are going to do a quick chart wrap up for you for 2022. I'll leave all the predictions and what's going to happen on for 2023 to everyone else. We want to know what has happened over this year, 2022. It has been an absolutely insane year. First of all, we all know the media loves to report bad news, so let me just squash that with you with foreclosures. As you can see, we are nowhere even remotely close to where we were in 2008. So if you're checking out the news or YouTube, you're going to find all those doomers and gloomers that are telling you market is crashing. Well, let me tell you, the reason that we're not seeing that increase in foreclosures is because the credit availability. If you look at this chart, it'll show you they have battened down the hatches. I'm telling you, for the last many years. Only those qualified really with these new lending restrictions have been given the money. And since interest rates have gone up, lending restrictions have actually tightened up. They want to make sure we don't have any loose lending practices and have sloppy real estate like we did in 2008. If you look at what we saw over the last 12 months, as far as who was buying homes, we were seeing an average before COVID around 70% or higher of owner occupied. This is a great number, a strong, stable number showing you that the majority of the market is owned by owner occupied buyers. Now, as the COVID progressed, and we also started to see more investors get into the market and iBuyers like OfferPad, Open Door, and other realtors that are offering to buy your home as is. We saw an increase over the last couple of years, and that only made it more difficult for first-time home buyers. And I'm happy to report that the investors went bye-bye over the last couple of months. And so we have resumed back to normalcy in reference to who is buying the homes. It's owner occupied. If we look at what's going on with long-term rentals, there has been a dump on the market over the last 6 months. We saw the majority of that dump in the May-June timeframe, but it is nicely leveled off. What this means is we did see a reduction in our median price for rentals, and you'll see how a good 50% of them, where they start isn't where they finish. So message to landlords, you're going to want to be more strategic on your new lease prices and be nice to your tenants, because when it's time to renew, chances are rental rates will be slightly lower. If we look at short-term rentals, well, you know what? There's a lot of legislation that is starting to change in the greater Phoenix area. And I have to tell you, there are Airbnbs, VRBOs, every neighborhood in places that you wouldn't even think of having a short-term rental. I have a feeling that many of these have been very empty over the last 6 to 8 months. And after Super Bowl, we are going to see some fantastic quality properties come on the market, as they will change from either short-term rentals to long-term rentals, which that's not necessarily a great thing. But if they decide to go ahead and let them go, I have a lot of buyers that are going to be waiting for those. Not to turn them into short-term rentals, but to get into some nice quality, good condition homes. All right, so let's take a closer look at the Cromford Market Index. This is where we take the amount of buyer demand, and when you compare it with the inventory or supply, you get a proprietary index number. Numbers between 90 and 110 would reflect a balanced market. Anything over that 110 is the stronger it gets, is the crazier the seller's market is. Look at this roller coaster we've had over the last several years, like insane numbers. We haven't seen anything over 200 literally ever in the entire time they've been tracking these numbers, until right when COVID hit. And then anything under 90 is really a non-favorable market for anyone. Now, when you look closer at this chart, it just again shows you how insane the market was in 2020. It was already getting out of hand before COVID hit. But once we came out of that complete lockdown in the March-April timeframe, it just started to go up. And let me tell you, the end of 2020, it already felt like insane. Then when you go to the beginning of 2021, holy moly, we got, like, it was there isn't a word for insane times infinity. With our market index, when it's reported in the media, it takes the average number of the greater Phoenix area. Every city and every type of property in the city are measured completely different. So be careful again of the doom and gloom that you are going to see in the media when they talk about how Phoenix is one of the fastest dropping markets. And it really isn't. It's about an average. I shouldn't even say average. It's a median of only about 7 to 8% from 1 year ago today. Let's take a quick look at some of the cities, the bigger cities, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. I love this chart. This chart real quickly shows you exactly what's going on in different cities. Obviously, the higher the index number means a seller's market, and the lower the index number is the buyer's market. Now, when it says strong buyer's market, what that means is mostly it is because builders are in these areas. So for those buyers that are in these areas, I am telling you, smoking deals, smoking deals. The very first thing that we started to see was days on the market, right? That was the first indication. And here's the thing, 40 days, 45 days on the market. If you look at every single December, with the exception of 19, no, not even 19, 20 and 21, this is very normal for Christmas time. But it's really funny how everybody's like, oh my God, the home's been on the market 30, 40 days. What's going on? Well, panic sellers will reduce their price. But I'll tell you, we're going to see a lot of price reductions probably right after January 1st. And we are also probably going to see a lot more homes that go on the market. So it's going to kind of be a dump of a lot. So we're probably going to see somewhat consistent, maybe even go a little bit more towards the sellers in the January timeframe, because that is our peak buyer's market. Now, when we look at what's going on, in order to stabilize a lot of these prices, what sellers are willing to do is called concessions. And right now, the hot thing, because again, it's buy and refi, is sellers are doing a 2-1 buy down. That means that the seller is buying down the rate. For the first year, it'll be 2%. And for the second year, it'll be 1%. And within that 24 months, the buyer obviously, or then that point, the borrower can then refi. If they refi within that, if it drops down to like 5% and they want to refi, they can reallocate those concessions and get interest rates as low as even 3 or 4%. Look, buying a home is not just black and white like it was before, but thank God nobody has to pay $100,000 over list price anymore. All right, here's the other thing. Buyers are fussy. I mean, super crazy, over the top fussy. Literally from what is the current state of maintenance items like roof, AC, pool, do you have cracks in your concrete? What does your foundation look like? What has the seller done in order to get that top price? Don't be thinking that you can ride that appreciation trail and not do anything and get that magic price anymore. Unfortunately, that's just how the market is. Don't fret about the few percent that we've already seen a decline on. We have seen a decline from earlier this year. Just kind of think of that as fugazi. I always love that word. And if you go back 1 year ago, if you bought your home, chances are you have a very good payment amount. And although you haven't seen a lot of appreciation in the last 12 months, you, my friend, have paid down your mortgage a full year, and you will continue to enjoy the benefit of that 3% or even lower interest rate. If you bought your home 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, you have over 75%. That's the median of appreciation in your property. So it's more of a mindset. If you want to move your home, 2 things: make sure the condition is fantastic. And even if it's not updated, make it clean, and show super well, and price it correctly. All right. Zillow, by the way, estimates have never been so wrong. All right. So in closing, quick messages: buyers, buy and refi. I'm telling you, not only can you take advantage of a lot of different types of loans, but you also don't have to come out of pocket for as many things as you used to. You also can be picky on the home you choose, and also on the repairs needed for the home. Sellers, condition matters. Let me tell you, never before has using the right listing agent also really helped. You need curb appeal, you need staging, you need professionally clean. Even if the home is not updated, the condition for where you price it is key in moving that property. Homeowners, I cannot say this enough. Invest in your own personal future. Invest in your home. Make sure that you save 1 to 3% every single year of the value and put it back into your home. And I don't mean furniture. I mean, if it needs windows, start planning that out. If you need an AC, if you need a roof, if you need a pool remodel, if you need landscaping, look, give us a call. I'll be glad to give you out referrals. I've recently done literally almost everything in my house. I'll be glad to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Landlords, expect lower returns next year. As your tenant moves out, you'll be probably locking in a lower rate, or you could also be just uber nice to your tenants and try and keep them for another year or 2. All right, guys, thanks again. I hope you all have a happy and safe holiday. If I can be of any assistance by running you charts, numbers, projections, getting your home ready to sell, or buyers getting in the right position, because we will be hitting 5% in 2023 and you want to be ready. All right, until next time, we'll see y'all soon. Be kind, happy holidays, and I'll see you next year.